the fuck? That many freaking...
494. Look at how many words some of these have.
Book a catch, Elizabeth shouted, tossing Booker a con. God damn it. Book a catch. The mares and the outlaw then had sex. Book a catch.
An erotic Thomas the Tank Engine fanfiction.
What? It's no problem, Twilight. Just then, she opened her eyes and found herself back in the library. She silently cried herself back to sleep. I think this might be good. It's morning, just like she was. Oh!
Sick, grieving burn.
Oh, man. Well, what's this? How would he describe this? But I just found out I'm a brony. It was a terminal illness. I went to the doctor one day and he was all just like, so yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. You have bronies.
You have bronitis. It's almost a disease. I thought that I would write something about My Little Pony's friendship to make myself feel better. I like the show, and I have a basic background of it. What?
He has a basic... Okay.
Yeah, what? So I just decided to write something about it. This is my second fic, so here I go.
I wonder what his first was. It was probably a Thomas the Tank Engine.
No, it was Spyro, because I know this isn't a Spyro fanfic.
Oh, well then.
Twilight has a dream about her brother, a codenamed Shining Armor, who is dead.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Alright, well, I don't know. This is pretty good.
Sounds good to me.
Alright, I'll send it. Let's see. Oh, oops, I actually deleted the other ones. Oh, well, I'll get them back later. Alright, so you want to start this one off?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Alright.
How long is this? Long enough.
Hey, just start the story. We already read the thing. I'll just put that in.
Okay.
Character. All good stories begin by telling you who the main character is.
Character Twilight Sparkle in Canterlot a long time ago. Thank you for listing off your setting. I needed that. Twilight, are you awake, sweetie? Said her mother. It's almost noon. The little filly got up and out of her bed and looked around. She was in her room. Big surprise there. It was medium-sized with purple wallpaper, a nice dresser with a mirror in it, and a few big books on the dresser.
Oh yeah, and before I forget, this story's called Bad Dreams.
Yeah. She got up and began to walk to her door, where she was greeted by her brother. Hey there, Twilight. Want to go outside and play? No end quotation marks. Twilight nodded and followed him outside. Excuse me while I drink my Mountain Dew.
He has all the time. I'm gonna read the next line. What are we going to do today, big brother? The wind blew some leaves out of the trees. That was important. Gotta have complete situational awareness of the scene.
Tone setting. Well, do you want to know how to fly a kite? It's nice and windy today. Twilight nodded and jumped with excitement. Well, let's get started. He pulled out a nice diamond as opposed to a terrible diamond shaped kite and threw it into the air.
As opposed to those cubes kites.
He ran with it and began to soar into the air. Oh, and it began to soar into the air. I'm sorry. I almost made this story interesting.
That would have been the best.
Then he stopped, and the kite just levitated in the air.
No, that's how he died. He just fell from the kite.
He held onto the rope attached to the kite with his mouth. He's a unicorn, though, so he has magic, so that's kind of stupid.
No, wait. Wouldn't it have been, like, a really cool, funny story if, like, that was how he died?
Yeah. He's reading this with a kite in his mouth, so I don't have to hold onto my fingers with my teeth while I read this. See, Twilight, eat this pie. Twilight nodded. Now try it. he said, and he gave her the rope. She ran with it for a minute and just stopped. Like her brother did. Good job, Twilight. That was perfect. He never said the kite stayed in the air, so I'm assuming it fell, and he's just saying that to make her not feel terrible. Twilight was so delighted that she jumped with excitement. During all the excitement, she let go of the kite. The kite flew away from the two ponies. Twilight looked at her brother. I really don't think that's how kites work.
I'm sorry, Shining Armor. I lost your kite.
I didn't notice.
No, I'm gonna read after next morning.
Okay. Okay. Her brother just laughed and said, "It's no problem, Twilight." I'm pretty sure there should have been a comma there, but I'm not certain. Just then she opened her eyes and found herself back in the library she was living in Ponyville. She silently cried herself back to sleep, except she doesn't live in the library because it got blown up by Satan.
No, this is before that. You know.
No, but her brother is dead.
No, retcon. He died a long time ago. He never married Cadence, and they never saved the Crystal Empire and all that jazz. They retconned. It's like Sonic 06.
Yeah, it's fine.
The end of the story will make it so it never happens.
Yeah.
Also, doesn't he call her Twily? I remember. I haven't watched much of the show.
Yeah,
but
I think he does.
I remember that.
I think so.
Twilight walked over to where Spike slept and began to wake him up. She never stopped. Spike, come on. It's morning. The little dragon wouldn't budge. She tried again. Still nothing. So she went over to the sink and filled a barrel up with water. She then levitated it above Spike's head and turned it over, splashing him with water. He jumped, freezing and startled by the water. Well, wow, what a dick. It was cold water. What was that for, Twilight? Spike asked, a little annoyed.
Only a little.
Sorry, Spike. We just have a really busy day today. First, we have to go over to Applejack's and help her with her apple pie making.
No, she has to go to Applejack's. That's not. There's no apostrophe. She just needs to go over to it.
All right. And then we have to go help Fluttershy round up her bunnies so they can be counted. Didn't they already do that? Wait, what is this?
I don't know.
Then we have to go get some streamers and party hats for Ponky P. Then we have to help Rarity. Spike cut her off. Oh, I thought they were talking about Rarity. What was she doing? Drugs? Twilight, I get it. We're busy, he said as she shook off the water, because that's how water works. So, who do we help first?
He's a dog now.
Applejack, well, I guess you won't be missing breakfast. She has a lot of apples for you to chow down. What gave you that idea? Why would she have apples?
What are you, insane?
Oh, that's a relief. Yeah. He said with a happy look on his face. Just then he looked at Twilight and found she looked like she had been crying.
She only looked like it.
He tried to ignore it, but he couldn't. So when they set off over to Applejack's...
Oh, you have an apostrophe this time.
It was still bugging him. Hey, Cinnamon! So he decided to say something. Twilight, why does it look like you've been crying? Are you all right? She continued walking forward and replied, it's nothing. Let's just get over to Applejack's and get this over with.
Oh, hey, an apostrophe again. That's making your first offense even more unforgivable.
As they entered Sweet Apple Acres, Spike began to lose his appetite. This was really stressing him out. He was too worried about Twilight to eat. Well, howdy there, Twilight. Good to see you here. Early as always.
Why is she British?
Well, I already have a few pies in the oven, so if you could kindly help me drag a couple of these apple barrels over to the barn, I would be mighty grateful. That actually sounds a lot like the.
I redact my statement. That's not British. That's just horrible.
No, it's like that one guy from 8 Crazy Nights.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that when I was going in. I just did a voice. Twilight nodded and walked over to the barrels and lifted them over her shoulders and onto her back. She had no troubles at all walking them over to the barn and setting them down. After a while, the other pies got finished baking, and she helped cut the apples into slices. After a half hour or so of cutting, she finally finished and said her goodbyes to Applejack for now. Alright, you can read.
Okay. Now that's mighty weird, Applejack said to herself. Usually Twilight's all talkative and social. Something must be wrong. I'll head over to her library after I finish baking all these apple pies. Then it'll get blown up by Satan. Twilight and Spike was then on their way to Fluttershy's. When they got there, Fluttershy was already spotting off all the bunnies and asking them to group up in the middle of the field. "Oh, Twilight," she said in a quiet voice, "it's great to see you could make it. Could you please help me? These bunnies just wouldn't listen to me, and they got themselves stuck in the tree right there." She pointed over to the tree. Twilight...
How the bunnies get in a tree? How is that possible?
Twilight nodded and got right to it. She used her magic to levitate the bunnies out of the tree and into the middle of the field. I choose to believe that she used blood bending. The bunnies were too frightened to move, so they stood right where they were placed. It was blood bending, wasn't it?
Oh, man.
"Oh, thank you, Twilight. Now, oh, I have to do Fluttershy voice. Oh, thank you, Twilight. Now, if you don't mind, would you please watch them so they don't hop away when I try to county them?" County.
Like, they have their own counties.
She nodded once more and made sure that they didn't hop away, also with blood bending. While she was doing this, she found a nice and perfectly bloomed rose. She picked it up and put it in her mane. After they were all counted, Twilight said her goodbyes to Fluttershy, and her and Spike began to walk over to the market. "That's weird," Fluttershy said. Angel, her pet bunny, gave her a scowling look. "Oh, sorry, Angel, but Twilight usually is a more social person. I mean, she didn't really talk much while she was here. I think something's wrong. I'll go over there later and ask."
Said the super social pony.
Yeah. Also, no end quotation marks.
Yeah, you don't need them.
Yeah.
All
As
right.
Twilight... Oh, wait, should we switch off?
You can still wait. I guess technically, because
But, like, switch off when she changes characters.
Sure. That way we only have to do certain characters. Where were we actually?
As Twilight and Spike entered the market.
Okay. As Twilight and Spike entered the market, they were surprised to see that it was crowded. "Well, first things first, we need the supplies," Spike said. Twilight nodded again and began to search the store for the supplies.
They're making a bomb.
After she had found them all, she walked over to the now empty register and wait, what?
What?
Where are they? And began to pay for items and the money Pinkie Pie had given her for them. Oh, okay. They apparently stopped by Pinkie Pie's.
Why is the register now empty? When was it ever full?
And when did they stop at Pinkie Pie's? Because there's somewhere in between point A and point B.
Time skip. This is actually 3 years later.
She thanked the pony on the other side of the register and walked out of the store over to Pinkie Pie's. When she got there, she knocked on the door and Pinkie Pie came and opened it, greeting her with her usual happy and jumpy attitude. Fuck, how am I gonna do Pinkie Pie? Twilight just nodded and walked off over to Rarity's. Well, that was crazy. Usually Twilight's all talky and chatty. Well, I'm going to go and see her later, see what's wrong.
Sounds good to me.
Yep, that sounds about right. There's less mind-breaking, but whatever.
As she entered Rarity's shop, she found Rarity all freaked out and looking for something. Just like literally every other time she goes to her shop. "Ah, Twilight, thank heavens you're here. Could you please help me find the red ribbon? I can't seem to find it anywhere." Twilight nodded once more and used her magic to find it. It's just that easy. Moments after, it appeared right in front of Rarity, levitating. So what, she just conjured one from the ether?
That's where she keeps all her stuff, actually. Rarity has a portal to the ether.
"Oh, thank you, Twilight. I thought I had lost this. No, really. Now, if it wasn't any trouble, would you mind going out and finding Rainbow Dash? I believe she said she would be around the market flying around." Around the market, flying around, okay. Again, Twilight they wasn't end quotation marks, so I didn't realize she wasn't still talking. Again, Twilight nodded her head and was on her way, along with Spike, who was getting more and more worried with each job completed. Why? Nothing's really happening.
Yeah.
She's just not talking. That's not exactly strange.
Yeah, some people just have an off day. It's fine.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe her breakfast tasted bad. She
I,
didn't
I,
eat breakfast, but whatever. They don't know that.
I don't know. Maybe like I don't know. Maybe do ponies have periods? No,
I don't know.
no, they probably don't.
I don't know. We could look up a story about it.
No.
As soon as they entered the general area of the market, Twilight began to look around and never stopped, but found that useless because moments later Rainbow Dash flew right into her.
I guess we should switch, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry, Twilight. I was practicing a new move. I guess it didn't go as planned, or I would have landed perfectly on the cloud I went straight through. She looked up to the cloud. It had a giant hole in it. Well, what's up? Did Rarity send you over here to get me because I was asked to model a new dress of hers? Twilight nodded. Okay, thanks, Twilight. And Rainbow Dash took off to Rarity's. Something's wrong with that pony today. She's starting to act like Fluttershy. Well, I'll head over there and see what's wrong after I help Rarity.
What are you talking about? You never gave her a chance to talk!
Well, I guess I'll go a little further. Well, that's everything today. Are you sure you okay? No, I want to do the Scottish. Are you everything okay? Are you sure you're okay?
What is that?
Spike asked Twilight. She ignored him and just started for home. He followed quietly behind. As soon as they got there, all of the ponies she had helped that day were there.
Ponies with an apostrophe.
Yeah, she owns them.
Where the apostrophe from Applejack's went.
She will now bloodbend them. Applejack, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, Rarity, and Rainbow Dash.
Thank you for listing them. I forgot.
Am I the only one who finds it rare that Rarity only has one thing? Like, it's Pinkie Pie, Rarity, Rainbow Dash. What's with Rarity having one word?
She was disowned by her family and cast away her last name.
And that's why she's so upset.
Headcanons.
Yes, they all looked worried. Hey there. Oh, wait. You do Applejack. I don't want to do
You're
Applejack.
so bad at southern accents. Hey there, Twilight, Applejack started. We all were wondering why you've been so quiet today, and since you haven't been acting like your usual social self, we wanted to know if anything was bothering you.
That's right.
You Rarity too?
Yeah. It's all three of the... Oh, no, let me do Rarity. Wait, I can't do Rarity. I don't not. I'm bad.
Why am I the pony impression guy? Yeah, come on, Twilight. We want to help you. We're your friends, and we don't like seeing you like this. Why was that sentence so hard for me to read?
I really like my Rainbow Dash impression. I'm pretty sure it's spot on.
Do you want me to do Fluttershy too?
No, I guess I can do Fluttershy.
Okay.
Twilight, please tell us if something's bothering you.
What the hell is that?
What do you want from me?
I don't know. You sound like me with lung cancer.
Maybe that's Fluttershy. You don't know.
I don't.
All we know is that there's a person called, or a pony called Fluttershy. We don't know if it's the actual Fluttershy. Twilight just looked at her friends and sighed with her head down. You ponies all right. There's something
Ponies
wrong.
Apostrophe. There's an apostrophe in it.
But I really don't want to tell any pony. So please, can you ponies forget it? Ponies with apostrophe. Please, Twilight replied and asked.
No end quotation marks, by the way.
It's Applejack!
Aw, come on, Twi. You can tell us anything. That's what friends are for, Applejack said.
Well, I guess. Oh, wait. I was...
Why is she Southern now? You're
Well, I
so bad at
guess.
impersonating the My Little Pony characters.
You guys see, I used to not be social at all when I was at the Philly. And I was a total egghead with my head stuck in books.
You mean just like you still are?
I didn't even believe in having friends. It was against my religion. Because I thought they would slow me down. But of course, I was wrong. Twilight said as she looked at all of her friends in the room. But before I had any pony to call a friend, I was always with my big brother. He was my best friend, for the longest time until he left. The girls all gasped because they had never known. They didn't know she had a brother. Well, they aren't good friends then. Well, after he left, I have missed him.
Really?
For the longest time. I haven't seen him for years. And last night I had a dream of the last time I saw him. I woke up in the middle of the night crying. She was starting to tear up, but tried to stop them from falling.
It's Rainbow Dash. You do it.
Oh, Twilight! Oh, Twilight! We can't say we know how you feel because we don't have an older sibling. But if it means anything, I feel terrible. We all do.
Applejack has an older sibling.
Rainbow Dash is
And
death.
dead parents.
Rainbow Dash is death. Death, not death. That's her job now. It's Rarity.
Yeah, we do feel terrible, so I think we should go and see your brother. We can find him. Do you know his whereabouts within the last few months? I think we all know where this is going.
I don't. No, we can't find him. That's the problem. He's dead.
Dramatic music.
Do, 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 do,
She
do.
couldn't hold it back any. Oh, I thought you were going to keep doing that.
Oh, okay, I will.
Should I?
Do, do, do,
She
do,
couldn't
do,
hold it
do,
back
do,
any
do,
longer.
do,
She
do,
let
do,
those
do,
tears
do,
stream
do,
down
do,
her face.
do,
Her
do,
friends
do,
and Spike all looked at her as she slowly broke down in front of them. They all had a look of shock and sadness on their faces. She was electrocuting all of them. Oh, Twilight, we are so sorry. We didn't know. Who the hell said that? That's just
Guitar
it.
solo!
You didn't know! Twilight interrupted Rarity. Oh, okay, I've got... Okay, thanks. Please don't feel bad. It was my fault for not telling you guys sooner. Now, Twilight, don't be hard on yourself. Please let us help you get through this. I promise everything will be fine, Applejack said. She walked up to Twilight and gave her a hug. Thanks, guys. You're the best friends a pony could ever have. After all that, Twilight still missed her brother, but she finally had the courage to go and see his gravestone.
Alright, in Canterlot Cemetery. She stared down at the headstone and placed the rose she had in her mane on the ground front of the headstone. She stayed there for a while, crying, and remembering the good times she had with him as a filly. Finally, she thought, I have some peace. So she returned to her home in the library of Ponyville and went to bed. After all she's gone through today, she was exhausted. But when she dreamt that night, she smiled in her sleep because she was masturbating. And was actually happy for the first time in almost a year.
You mean clopping?
I'm done. And she had her friends to thank for that. The next morning, she immediately woke up and got Spiker to take the letter to the princess. Dear Princess Celestia, I had the best fap last night. I have learned that in times of great depression... No, wait. Dear Princess Celestia, I have learned that in great times of great depression, or if you...
In great times of Great Depression.
or simply lost all hope, your true friends will always be there to help you through it, whether it is a big or small problem. And if your heart is in the right place, you'll be able to be free of the burdens you carry because of that problem. From your faithful student, Twilight Sparkle.
Your Scottish accent is terrible.
That actually made me really think of from what's it called? It's like intelligence. It's one of the things on YouTube. It's the parodies.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Can't even stop your Scottish accent. It's going to take over your entire voice.
Too Scottish for me. I'm putting that as in the thing. MoonLightGang. Too Scottish for me. I spelled Scottish wrong. No, it's
Good.
not capitalized.
The story deserves it.
Post review. The author would like to thank you for your continued support. You're welcome.
Be damn well better.
All right. Well, that's enough for now.
Yeah.
We have like 5 stories. All right.
Worth it.
Thank you guys for watching. I don't even know when this is gonna be, but it's gonna be somewhere.
Who knows?
Next time we'll actually have a few set out to start with. Probably,
Yeah.
maybe.
I don't know. The adventure is half the fun.
Yeah, it really is. Just like going through everything, like Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. It's perfect. It's fine. We need more Thomas the Tank Engine stories. We need like the love affair between Thomas the Tank Engine and the rails.
We need to have 419 pages.
Oh man, we do. All right. Well, that's that. I'm